Today we're going to be featuring Spangled Headhunter. Basically, we're going to be using the insane rocket loadout from forever ago, but today instead of way back then. So let's get right into it. This build is much more explained in the original video, but here's the gist. With the war cry, you get a 50% chance not to consume ammo, which means 50% of your shots won't get fired. You'll just keep it in the magazine. And then that 50% applies to those remaining shots. But it gets better. 8-bit demo exists and stacks. So now, on top of the 50%, there's a 70% chance not to consume ammo. When you pop a war cry with him in support, you basically triple your magazine size. It is really, really fun, really powerful, and that's what we're going to be using today. Faster explosions, of course, is to increase launcher damage, and then the rest of the build, including the team perk, is all about reducing the cooldown of that war cry, because that's basically what we're spamming here. So we've got leadership for a 17% cooldown, then we've got practice in combat for an extra 3 seconds, and then something I don't remember if I used in my original video is Steel Wool Carlos. He can get you up to an extra 6 seconds of war cry cooldown, which is, or duration, which is really nice, because the more you kill, the more you last, basically. So that's the build. Today we're going to be running the Snowball Launcher. I want to do several videos with this loadout, but because it's a fire season, I feel like the Snowball Launcher is the perfect thing to show off. And let's go over the perks. The perks are underwhelming, unfortunately. You can't run a crit build with this, which would make a lot of sense because you're spamming so many shots. It's okay though, because we could do double damage. Something you can do, if you're interested, is you can run this with a magazine size. You will lose a 30% damage perk, which it might matter, might not, but that extra mag size will make you shoot a lot longer, and I feel like would be a really, really good use of this build. But less damage per shot is not something I'm willing to give up today, so I'm gonna leave it double damage as it is. Reload, of course, you want to get that reload as quick as possible. 1.7 is pretty solid, so I'm not too much complaining here. And then the 6 perk is weird. I always love Affliction because it's insane, but since we're against fire enemies and we're already using a water weapon, it's actually a pretty good perk. But the other 6 perks is pretty decent too. Stunning or knocking back an enemy causes nearby enemies to freeze for a while. That's actually pretty decent. It doesn't give you any extra damage, but freezing the enemies around you can get you out of a pinch. And then, of course, the 5th perk has no synergy with the Affliction, because we can't afflict enemies with this weapon. Slowed and Snared makes sense if you have a Slowed and Snared copy and you don't want to core reperk it, but I think damage to miss monsters bosses is perfectly fine, because we're spamming a launcher here with a full party of people doing 200,000 per shot. Normal enemies are not going to survive that long, so I think the extra damage to miss monsters bosses makes perfect sense. So that's the build I'm running with. Let's hop in game and let's have some fun. Now, one thing I'm going to do before I actually start playing is change my keybinds. I'm not going to be spamming minigun hardly at all in this build, and 6 is not my favorite keybind that I have set. So something I recommend you guys doing is if you're ever running a specific build, don't hesitate to just swap them around. That way I can hit 9, which is actually the little DPS button on my mouse. That's super convenient for me to spam, and you can see that in use case right here. So normally we're going to save 20% of our shots, and I could actually shoot pretty well, but with the war cry active, you can see that 6 is actually going down very slow. Look at that. Almost every 2 or 3 shots does it actually change. Just killed that entire group of enemies with 4 rockets. That's not just ammo, that's rockets. It's actually very ammo efficient. Now, obviously the cooldown for the war cry is going to be tremendous. So when it's on its cooldown, we're basically just back to that normal 20%. It's still going to do plenty of damage. We don't lose... well, we don't lose that, but we do lose the damage bonus of the war cry. So you typically want to wait until you have the war cry active. Another way to run this build is actually with multiple people. I showed this actually in the Easter egg launcher video, where multiple people in the team, I think we all ran the same build and we're rotating it. That worked out really well for infinite uptime. So if you have some friends that can play along, you can get a really consistent uptime for that and save a lot of ammo. Now, one of the best things you can do with a loadout this spammy is trigger a whole mega encampment just by yourself. Oh no, a bunch of nurses, whatever will I do? So we're not getting the extra 44% because the nurses don't have an element, but it doesn't really seem to matter. They all kind of die all the same, including me, apparently. All right, one last clip before the defense. Let's just murder a smasher. How many shots does it take? So, I don't know. Single target damage is kind of okay. When you're saving this much ammo and doing a bunch of damage to everything else on the side, I'm more forgiving. But I've definitely seen smashers kill faster, but that's okay. This is more of a fun build. This is not a top launcher that's going to one-hit the thing or anything dramatic like that. It's just a really fun, spammy build that is very good for crowd clearing. This is going to become a bit of a trap guide for a second here, because we are in a metal corrosion mission building out of metal. Beast and his friends are idiots, confirmed? No. So metal corrosion only activates from regular husks smacking the walls, and it won't actually activate from smashers or regular mist monsters. So So considering that the walls are still tanky and enemies will still avoid them, even upgrading here is unnecessary. Little Ben's war cry. Twitch link down below if you guys ever want to be a part of these recordings live. We have a lot of fun over here. But these walls will still, you know, direct the enemies down into these slopes. And because I'm featuring a weapon, I'm not going to be playing perfectly normally. I actually prefer these straightaways the way that the teammates here have set them up, because I want to funnel the enemies into similar positions. So because metal has the most defense here, and we are in a exploding death bomb mission, I am going to just wall off as many of these as I can. I like to make big boxes just like this, and then if I can wall it off just like so, I can show you what I like to do. Ooh, that's actually, believe it or not what I like to do, but I like to cap it off just like this so I can run up on top. The building here is going to be, oh my gosh, I actually went to hit the minigun because the far left side is usually my keybind. Yeah, when you change around your keybinds, you do mess up a little bit, but I like to get this a little bit out of my way. Usually I keep a ceiling just like right here, but in this case, I'm just going to remove the, what is this connected to? Is this just an invisible curtain, Archer? Is this a known thing? What am I seeing here?
Hit it, try to hit it with a rocket launcher.
Yeah, what,
oh, they
why?
fixed it.
The rocket killed it.
Invincible.
Weird. Actually, I am using a rocket launcher, which is great for clearing out buildings. So we have a nice little death pit that won't even go towards my box. I can put a wall here. Hopefully this will direct enemies out here, but I suspect they might ignore it. It's completely fine. It's more of a matter of feeling it out. So all the enemies will be going through here. Floor traps aren't going to matter much because they're going to get blown up. And even though I teased my teammate about building up a wall, I did realize as I was recording here that it is an exploding death bomb mission, and I want these walls to stay where they are. So I'm going to funnel them here for gameplay purposes. I have failed missions in these videos before, and I want people to understand that when I'm recording a video, my teammates know that, and we typically build in a way that allows me to get lots of murder on camera, and sometimes that means less traps overall. Sometimes the weapon that I'm featuring is insufficient to carry the mission, and you know what? It just kind of happens. This series is labeled Fun Loadout / Fun 160s for a reason. We're just having fun here. So this south side is basically going to be my defense. You guys can focus on the north side. I want to just feature what I've got. And then, of course, Noah's in the stream chat, so you didn't hear that in time. But actually, there aren't that many enemies over here. I'm going to immediately turn around. Yes, this is what it's for. Look at that carnage. Whole crowds of enemies just dying at once. I saw a bunch of damage numbers over there for enemies I didn't even know were there. This is actually pretty amazing. I love this build so much. It's so fun to spam this, and it's so satisfying to use, and I'm really glad I brought it back. Star Spangled Headhunter should be in the shop as of this video going out, so if you haven't picked her up, I recommend doing so. This build singularly is the reason I recommend grabbing her, because she is super fun and super powerful. And if you guys want to stay subscribed for the upcoming videos, I think I want to showcase a lot of videos. I've already ran her with the V6 launcher in recent history. I'll link that video on screen, link to that down below as well. But I also think I want to make new videos on like the Thumper, and we already did the Easter egg launcher, link to that video again. But like the Thumper and the Cannonade are both fantastic weapons. The Cannonade and the Thumper are weird because they're not exactly rare weapons, but I knew it. I was gonna waste my war cry. But they come around at random intervals. Like the Thumper is kind of rare in missions, and the Cannonade comes around at Wild West llamas, so it doesn't really matter when I post those videos. So I want to get that out just in case it does come around, and you guys can pick it up when it does. So when I'm off cooldown and I waste it like the buffoon that I am, okay, all right, my teammates are trolling me here. All of these tires. Why are you cutting off my view, you meanie? Archer, why do you hate me?
They were barreling in over there, so I wanted to stop them. No,
it's fine. I was shooting the complete opposite side. I said I'd handle the south, but then there weren't that many enemies, so I just turned around and ignored them completely. This is what I was talking about earlier with multiple teammates. It can go a lot further to have multiple people rotating this. It's not always possible to ask your entire team to run the same loadout, but if everybody's willing to spam launchers for a little while, it's actually pretty good. And in my instance, of course, I'm trying to show you guys this loadout as much as I can. I'm trying to make a YouTube video. In normal missions, you can set up traps to handle most of the enemies, and then save your war cry bonuses when they are active for when there's a group of enemies to kill all at once. You can time it to be more efficient that way. But today I'm trying to utilize as much of this as I can. And of course, 8-Bit Demo is active 24/7. So he's there giving us that 20% chance to not consume ammo, which is, it's not nothing. It's not nothing, but maybe, well, I'm actually curious, would a mag size even really matter? Probably not. Oh, look at that. Easy crowd clearing. Like I showed with the Smasher, it's not the most single target damage, but it really handles a crowd super well. Unfortunately, though, talking about Smashers, we haven't seen hardly any mini-bosses, or any, oh my gosh, mini-bosses and Mist monsters. I've been getting those two mixed up for so long, and I want, there we go, there we go. Hey, look at that, all I had to do was complain. It fixes everything. If you just complain harder, Epic will do things faster. That's how that works. I'm just kidding, everybody, oh my god. That's actually the opposite. Sometimes people report bugs to Epic, and they know, but then the community harasses them so hard that it actually slows down production, so... Anyway, yeah, all I had to do was complain about the Smashers and then they'd spawn. So I'm just gonna do what I can. Oh, you can see this actually. Watch the elemental one die 44% faster. It's not gonna be truly 44% because of the way damage stacking works in this game, but it's still significantly faster. Here we go. Pop a Warcry, which is great. I love Warcry builds. I've talked about this a lot before, but I love it when you pop a Warcry and it just makes everybody on the team better. Everybody is improved by that. Everybody will be saving their ammo. They'll be shooting faster. I think, does Warcry make you shoot faster? They'll do more damage at least. Yeah, I got this confused for a long time that Warcry actually does not increase ability damage, but it does increase ability fire rate, I believe. And that actually does improve your damage output significantly because abilities like minigun lefty and righty are not limited by, let's see here. Let's just remind myself. There we go. Attack bonus, fire rate, melee attack speed. Gosh, if only there was a way to check Warcry, but I got it wrong forever. So, because your abilities like minigun and lefty and righty are not limited by ammo capacity, and rather the uptime, the more bullets you can shoot in that limited uptime, the more damage you'll output. So it's actually, it is technically an overall damage output bonus to your abilities, even if you aren't technically doing more damage per shot. It's a little weird, but it works out in the end. I was actually considering putting down campfires or healing pads, maybe saving myself from myself, and yet I didn't. And I sit here, I am, thank you, Noah, just saving me from myself. Oh, no, death bomb, I saw it right there. Okay, here, we're just gonna prep this, because I know wave 10, a mini boss is gonna come around. So I'm gonna put campfires everywhere, just to get myself ready. We've got about 9 seconds until, okay, so I need to be a little smart. I'm gonna save my Warcry, as I always forget to do in my videos. It's available now, but you can see on the left, that blue bar is about to be full. We're gonna see a mini boss spawn in right about now. He's early, okay. I thought it was exactly with wave 10. I guess I'm wrong. You know what? I've been wrong before. It happens. So he is water, but it should be okay, because I can just burn through this entire crowd and just spam him. Oh, yeah. Look at that damage. Oh, man. Just annihilating the mini-boss. Okay, so maybe he's not as killable as I thought. Yeah, I said it in the early part of this video, that we're not exactly going to be doing a significant amount of single-target damage. That's actually where the minigun comes into play. But, of course, he's not where I need him to be. So even at half damage, the minigun's still okay. I am hoping that my teammates will be able to take care of this mini-boss, because I won't be much help. Obviously, I'll be popping my Warcry in range of my teammates to do as much as I can, but unfortunately, using a single-target weapon like this, I'll be struggling. I do believe the V6 launcher actually did a lot better versus the mini-boss. I hope that Cannonade does as well. There are definitely some weapons that you can pair with this loadout that will be a lot better. There's the Warcry, so my teammates can just shoot for longer. I'm still going to do what I can, though. Yeah, look at that. Whoever was using the pot shot might have had some weird instances where they didn't have to reload. That's a jarring feeling.
Oh, that was me.
Now, isn't it weird to, like, not reload every shot? You just kind of expect it, and then it doesn't happen. I do that all the time.
I just fire blindly until a rocket comes out.
You just let it auto-reload and never think about it?
Yeah.
Man, you run your normal missions like the MSK fight. You just let it be as lazy as possible.
Yeah, kind of.
We just ran MSK. If you guys haven't seen the Xenonbo MSK video, I don't know if that's live yet or not. I'm gonna link it down below if it's live, and if it's not live, then subscribe. For those of you who are new to the channel, I do record my videos in bulk because I'm an inspiration-based YouTuber. I like to get real excited and make my videos all in one sitting, so they roll out slowly, and it creates a circumstance where I don't always know when videos are going to go live, because the Xenonbo video, that can go live anytime. Xenonbo isn't going anywhere, and it's available year-round, but the Spangled Headhunter comes out at a set time in the shop, so this video is time-sensitive, that one's not. Sometimes they get shifted around. It doesn't matter.
You know what reload I am paying attention to, though?
What is that?
This Xenonbo.
Oh, yeah?
I just had to grind level 50 in adventures with a Xenonbo that did not have reload or fire rate.
Oh, that sounds really fun. You know what I was doing during that time frame? I was actually sleeping. Have you heard of it? It's actually pretty cool.
you were streaming 2 times out of it.
That's true. I was streaming a little bit of Ventures, but after I finished Ventures, I went and slept. What do you think of that?
I
Yeah.
did the same thing.
Bet you're jealous. You slept?
Not during the grind.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Did. It looked like Mateo fell asleep a few times.
I went outside. I saw the lady friend. I watched a TV show. It was pretty great, actually. I recommend it. You know, I'm not level 50 in Ventures, but I'm slightly healthy, and I think that's the takeaway. I don't know why you guys grind Ventures.
It just means
like
I never have to touch it again for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I'm not done with my homework yet, so there is that. Well, this video's done though. If you guys enjoyed it, nice little casual video showcasing the Snowball launcher, feel free to subscribe, like the video, let me know what you thought in the comments down below. I don't know if this weapon's, you know, top tier meta, but it's a fun thing to pull out if you're trying to have some fun, because we have a bunch of fire missions. Spangled Headhunter should be in the shop by now, and it's a fun loadout. What else can I say? Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one, and goodbye. And then